The team has set itself an ambitious delivery agenda covering 30 days, 3 months, and 6 months. Much has already been discussed in the last few days about their 30-day agenda, so I will dwell a little more on what must happen within the next 6 months. And the beauty of these targets and timelines is that those asked to implement, oversee the implementation of these projects and programs have agreed to resign if these timelines are not met. Nairobians want to see many things, but let me address just 3. First, within 1 month, there should be no piles of garbage in any of the 85 electoral wards of the city of Nairobi. Also, a clean up of Nairobi River would have commenced. Environmental awareness campaigns would be underway, and programs for regular garbage collection should be in place. Second, traffic can be a nightmare in the city, as all of you city dwellers know. This team is doing something about that. You would have heard about the full car-free days for Westlands and the Central Business District. A traffic management committee, the bus rapid transport system should also be in place, as well as the automation of bus termini and improvement of non-motorized travel. The launch of the BRT will be preceded by the availability of 39 buses and infrastructure improvement on Lang'ata, Mombasa, Jogoo, and Juja roads, as well as Waiyaki Way. Third, health is a big issue, and especially the lack of accident and emergency facilities in most of the city. This will take longer than a month to fix, but still significant progress is promised within 6 months. That progress will include the improvement of facilities available at Mbagathi and Mama Lucy hospitals in terms of their trauma care, as well as in order that they lessen the pressure on Kenyatta National Hospital so that it can do the work for which it is set up, which is referral care. The upgrade of Matwini Hospital to level 4 status and the upgrade of 10 other high-volume health centers has already been identified, and we should see progress in that as well within 3 months. 2 other matters. One is housing. Already you've had discussions around the setup of the Kenya Mortgage Refinance Company to help with bonds for affordable housing. But what you will see that will tell you that affordable housing is taking root in Nairobi is a breaking of ground on Park Road for 2,000 units of affordable housing, which should happen within the next 3 months, as well as 5,000 houses in Shauri Moyo, 20,000 houses in Makongeni, and 3,000 houses in Starehe. The team for those last 3 has a 6-month deadline to ensure that the breaking of ground happens and that construction work begins in earnest. The second matter I would like to reference is the President's universal health coverage agenda. Ensuring that each and every Kenyan has access to affordable health care is one of the President's big 4 ticket items in his second and last term as President. The President is taking aggressive steps in ensuring that that plan works. Already the counties of Kisumu, Machakos, Isiolo, and Nyeri have been identified for a 100% pilot on universal health coverage. The pilot is important because it allows the government, the national government, and the county governments to assess the efficiency and effectiveness of facilities and institutions that are key to delivery. It allows to assess the availability of human resources, logistics matters, and more importantly, how citizens are engaging with the program and how citizens are reacting to the program. At the heart of the program are citizens, Kenyan citizens. So this is not about just who is running the program or under whose mandate it's supposed to be. This is about ensuring that the Kenyan citizen gets the service for which the Kenyan citizen expects his or her government to be engaged in. The other 43 counties will also run pilots, but they are limiting this to 10,000 citizens per county. This is, of course, on a much smaller scale compared to those ones doing 100% stress tests, but it allows counties to also start to see how universal health coverage will work in their own areas. And it also allows counties to assess the facilities they have and how these facilities will respond in a situation where UHC has taken root. Secondly, for universal healthcare to actually work effectively, we have to look at how to go around preventive measures so that common diseases are reduced or curbed so that they do not become the source of stress as they are now on the health facilities available. That is one of the reasons why Health Cabinet Secretary Cicely Kariuki is going to Cuba in this week. She's going to close on key agreements critical to the President's agenda to reduce common illnesses such as malaria. In collaboration with Cuba, the government expects to launch this year a malaria vector control project in the counties of Busia, Kakamega, Bungoma, Siaya, Kisumu, Migori, Homa Bay, Kisii, and Nyamira, which, as you know, some of those that are worst affected by malaria in our country, and where it requires aggressive implementation to ensure that there's a significant reduction in malaria, or there is, in fact, an end to malaria. Why are we working on Cuba on this? Some people have asked. The reason is really a simple one. Cuba has managed to eradicate malaria. Their methods, their medicines, their technology is proven, and we are collaborating with them to ensure that we can transfer those methods, that technology, those medicines to our environment. Technology and medicines are to treat diabetes, foot ulcers, and vaccines for HIV-positive people to reduce CD4 count, and also significantly reduce the ability to transmit HIV, is also part of the discussions that Cabinet Secretary Kariuki will be having. Obviously, you have heard plenty about Cuban doctors, including the opposition to them by our doctors' unions. The plan is very much still to bring 100 Cuban specialists in areas such as oncology, nephrology, and dermatology. There is a massive shortage of specialists in these areas, and the President's mandate is to ensure his citizens get relief from whatever source possible. The Cubans will also be expected to mentor the Kenyan doctors they are working with in the various counties across our country. Bringing in the doctors will go hand in hand with a plan to send 50 Kenyan doctors in the opposite direction to train as specialists in these complex areas of medicine. And lastly, I would like to talk to the President's trip to London from tomorrow, which will continue to focus his agenda on entrenching Kenya's place in global diplomacy, as well as showcasing our country as an attractive investment destination. Tomorrow, the President will start the visit, as I have said. The first and second days of this visit are devoted entirely to Kenyan and regional issues, while the third and fourth will be devoted to the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, which brings together the 53 members of the Commonwealth, spanning literally the whole world, from the biggest democracies to the smallest, and from some of the wealthiest nations to some of the poorest. On Tuesday, the President will visit the London Stock Exchange for a meeting with investors, using the event to share areas of investment opportunity in terms of his Big Four agenda, as well as job creation. He will also deliver an address at Chatham House, the shrine for policy and investment thinkers in London. His speech will dwell on Kenya's efforts in achieving inclusive growth, the positive role Kenya is playing in supporting regional peace, and its station in a globalizing world. It is essentially a platform for the President to share his view on a range of areas as a Kenyan leader, as a Pan-Africanist, and as one of the people closely involved in seeking and securing peace in our region, in South Sudan, in Somalia, and are also addressing the matters about which he cares deeply, such as regional integration. He will also obviously speak to his Big Four agenda, which is at the heart of his drive for inclusive growth. That event will be live streamed, and we will be making the handles, the parameters available to you, so that you can also have links to that should you wish to do so. On Wednesday, the President will spend time dealing with East African and African investment issues and seeking to drive greater foreign direct investment into our country and into our region. On Thursday and Friday, the President will attend the summit of the Commonwealth. Trade, diplomacy, security, regional development are the priorities for these meetings. And the President will also use that to deepen bilateral relations with a number of heads who he will likely meet on one-on-ones or in the margins of the Commonwealth Summit. The President is due to hold discussions with British Prime Minister Theresa May, also centered on trade, investment, security, and bilateral relations between Kenya and the United Kingdom. As you know, the UK is a key traditional partner of Kenya's and a big importer of some of our products, including fresh produce, flowers, and tea, and we value our relationship with them. The President will also discuss blue economy issues, first at the conference that he has been invited to by PM May, and also as part of the Commonwealth agenda. The blue economy is part of the themes of the Commonwealth Summit and are particularly important to us because of a major summit on this subject that we are planning to host later in the year. So I will just recap one or two